Hello and good day to you, my beautiful friends. I do hope you are well. Welcome to episode 62 of Cross Button VR, our journey into the world of PSVR2. I'm your host Laurie, and we are part of the Cross Players. So if you like what you hear, check out links to all of our stuff in the description for this very episode. Now, it is an honour to be joined by the most Essex influencer in the metaverse. It's Reece.
Oh, don't put me like that, mate. How you doing, buddy?
Come on, you literally are though. So that's a nice easy one this week. You don't have to think of something funny to say. You just talk.
The accent's coming back now. After being back there. So.
Yeah, we've got no Ben. We've got no Ben this week. We well, it's all a bit up in the air this week because as we're going to be hearing about shortly, you've been at WASD or WSAD, if some people prefer. Yep. So he couldn't record earlier in the week, and now Ben's having a dinner party or something. Did he say he's got something thing? And yeah, Alex is still
nice posh dinner party.
Alex has finished his exam. He's moved on to his coursework now, so he's still busy. So it's just me and thee, Reece.
Yes,
but that's fine with the A team. I like to think of it as.
Okay, I'm glad you think of it like that. We'll see. Yeah,
we'll see. But yes,
click record.
No, we don't have the power to record. We have to get Ben to come and babysit us and make sure we don't completely shit the bed. But let's just jump in straight with the news. You wanted to start with this story this week, which is very exciting for lots of people. This is not strictly PSVR2 related, but I will allow it. And this is Meta doing some big update this week that they're going to allow their Meta OS. It's going to be on all headsets now. It's going to be open source for everyone who wants to use it can use Meta OS, including Xbox. Now, what's going on there, Reece?
An Xbox limited Meta headset. Well, he specified this. He said he doesn't know whether it be something that just comes with pre-installed Game Pass and the membership for Game Pass and also a controller, but other little things as well that they can add to it. But yeah, the Meta OS is basically going. Yeah, it's open to everyone to use. Well, not just yet, but it will be. So yeah, other headsets that want to develop, other companies that want to develop a headset can now put that on there and use the Meta OS and have the Meta apps, the Meta Store, as well as their own stuff as well to kind of work with it and make it more unique to their brand. So, I mean, it opens up a lot of routes for cheaper alternative headsets by other companies that may be able to go cheaper than Meta. I don't know really if you could go cheaper than £200 for a headset at this point, but it opens the doors for a lot more alternatives.
It seems like a smart move on Meta's part because obviously you've got Apple have got their spatial computing OS bullshit, but there isn't a common platform in the same way you have for mobile, Android and Apple. So you've got Apple in the VR space. So now what's the competitor that's going to be the standard platform that everyone else uses, and it makes I can see a lot of sense for Meta. And no one's pumping billions and billions of dollars in every month into making this thing. So why not them? It makes sense.
It is a really good idea, and I think it says a lot for the way they're trying to push Meta as a business as well, and also as a platform. It says a lot for them, not just kind of keeping it to themselves. It does say a lot in that sense. And I mean, the future of VR just on that whole looks a bit more brighter with it. But yeah, he did state some big companies that were interested. I believe Lenovo is one of them. ROG, which is obviously a big gaming company.
I mean, it makes sense because Facebook is not a hardware company; it's a software. It's an app, isn't it? So it should be everywhere. So it makes sense, and they obviously can see the success that Google have had on the Android platform everywhere. So
exciting news. Zuckerberg's done it again. He's got us excited for something.
Well, some of us.
Yeah, just like you. Clearly, you're like, it's not PlayStation though, is it?
No, but I wonder if could in theory Sony drop an update so that a PlayStation branded headset or Sony branded headset could be running the Meta OS on it. Like, why not?
Could be interesting. Do you know what I really want Sony to do? Because I don't know.
What do you really want them to do, Reece?
I'm gonna put it at it. If you've ever done this with your PlayStation headset, you can actually pull the wire out of the front of the headset.
No, I'm not a madman.
So, I thought one was broke when it first arrived because it was actually quite loose, so I had to push it back in. And it loses power, obviously, when it does that because it's connected from the back strap to the front.
Well,
I wish they made it so you could basically take the back strap off and attach a battery one and connect a wire to it so you could then play your sports game wirelessly and run around and just do some stuff like that as well. Because I think that might mitigate that other kind of, I can't play the game wirelessly, I can't...
How would you get the game graphics there?
You do. Well,
You've not thought this through, Reece, have you?
No, they'd have to do a lot more. Maybe they could do something on the back strap. They could do something. Something. Work with us here.
Go away, Reece. Go back to your drawing board. Come up with another plan and come back next week with a plan that works. Oh, God. Embarrass yourself now. Moving on. Well, no,
it's a long week, okay? I am going to embarrass myself a lot today.
No, it's anyway, the point is it's good to see the kind of VR market maturing and there's now a kind of common platform that everyone uses and stuff, and so that will help it grow and mature and move things forward, which is all good, because the more people adopt VR, the more it's better for everyone, including Sony and PlayStation players. Anyway, moving on. We've had a bunch of release dates confirmed this week. Most excitingly for you, it's Madison VR finally got a new date confirmed, and this is definite this time. It's definitely coming out because well, I don't know, you may or may not have been playing it. Who could possibly say what embargoes allow us to say? Who knows? But it's coming out on May the 2nd, which is a couple of days after this episode airs. So that's, yeah, it's definitely happening this time. People have been playing it.
Very excited.
So, yeah. Well, all the thoughts on that one on the next episode, I guess. So it's good to see that's finally coming there. Yeah.
I got to admit, when they said it was coming, I was like, I'm not going to get excited just yet. And then everything online kind of blew up a thing, and I was like, oh, okay, it's actually happening this time.
Yeah, we've done this before.
Yeah,
well, it's definitely happening.
Rodeo.
No. Another game that we knew was coming, but we didn't know when, was Doctor Who. Last week we heard about that one. It's just it was coming to PS2, and it's already out. So there was a very quick kind of appeared on the store and some news about it, and then it launched more or less straight away. I think a few days after our last week's episode went out. So Doctor Who fans, your game's there. So yeah, go check it out. Not one for us though, is it?
No, I'm not a Doctor Who fan.
Well, yeah, I might give it a go because I mean, I'm not a Twilight Zone fan, but I'm still curious.
Yeah, I enjoyed Twilight
Zone. Intrigued to check it out. Exactly.
It just doesn't use any of the updates of the headset.
Yeah, that is a bit disappointing.
Obviously, what is it with like is it the witches that you look at in the show? You've got these witches and they kind of move when you. I've not seen Doctor Who enough to know the name of them, but somebody in the comments who's seen Doctor Who will probably point it out. But there's these certain characters.
Oh yeah, those the Weeping Angels. That's what they're called.
That's it. Yes, and you look
the
at
witches.
them. Okay, something W.
Yeah, if you look at them, they're the things that they put in.
They could have done that with like eye tracks.
Switchback. Switchback, didn't they?
They could have done it with eye tracking to kind of, give that a little bit more oomph on that scene. But I suppose
I don't because this is just a straight port from
from the
PSVR and Quest. I don't think it's that well reviewed or regarded. But obviously, if you're a big Doctor Who fan, I expect you'll love it because you can go in the TARDIS in VR and imagine that'd be a lot of fun.
It's quite cheap as well. I think it's £10, so it's not too expensive.
Well, maybe someone will give that a go and let us know.
Yes.
Another game that's got a release date now is Stride Fates. And they got a nice new trailer this week for that, and it's May the 16th that's coming out, so a bit further ahead, but not too far, just a couple of weeks away. And that game looks really good, and you've played this before on Quest, all right?
I have, yes. It was one of the first games I bought when I got the Quest 3, and I absolutely love Stride Fates. It's a lot of fun. Think of Mirror's Edge. And
I was going to say it looks like Mirror's Edge, but shockingly violent as well.
Yeah, it's...
I was watching the trailer, and about 2/3 way through the trailer, it just gets horrendously violent. And whoa, okay.
So, when I watched the trailer and he did the reload where he kind of threw the mag up in the air and catch it with his gun, I was like, oh, I've not tried that. I'm going to have to try that. Like, that's the first thing I took away from that. But no, really excited to see it come to PlayStation and obviously have some enhanced graphics and to see how it plays on there as well.
It's got a bit of a Titanfall wall jumping kind of thing going on as well, hasn't it?
Yeah, you literally run across the walls, slide, sprint, jump. Yeah, it's proper heavy on the parkour. But it's the way you kind of manipulate the parkour into your combat as well that really makes it that unique.
So there should be one people should be keeping an eye on then.
100%.
A couple of weeks. 100%. You heard it here first. Well, you didn't hear it first, but you heard it here. Let's get the Reece stamp of approval. Have you finished it on Quest?
I've got to the last... I think I'm on the last 2 or 3 levels. It's one of them ones where I've been taking it really slowly because I've been not wanting to finish it because I've enjoyed it that much. And every time I play it, I just kind of mess around on the levels and just redo some of the older levels again that I had fun on with the way the levels actually played out. Because then I can just do trick shots and things like that. So, yeah, not finished on Quest. obviously on Quest you have the mixed reality mode as well, which was I spent some time in playing that as well, which took me away from the campaign.
Mm-hmm.
But
Okay.
no, it's really good.
Very cool. Okay, well, we'll hear about that one, I think, as well. In a couple of weeks' time, we'll be talking about that one. Another game that has just been revealed this week is Alien Rogue Incursion. It's quite a cool name. So this is a new... so it's not like a port of Isolation. I think this is a new, built for the ground up for VR, new game in the Alien franchise, being made by Servios. Is that what you use? Servios?
Yeah, that's how you
Don't
pronounce
know
it.
how you
I've
pronounce
always
it.
pronounced it wrong, so I'm going to say you've done it better than me.
Oh, okay. And they've made quite a few VR games. I think Creed, Rise to Glory, that's the only one on PS2.
Walking Dead Onslaught. There was also a sports one, which I can't remember the name of. But there was quite a few on the PSVR1, which haven't came across to PSVR2. Some of which really should, to be fair. Even Walking Dead Onslaught didn't get the best of reviews, but I enjoyed it. I just found it quite mindlessly fun. So, yeah, they do some good games.
So they've commented on this one saying it's a single-player action horror VR game featuring an original story that fully surrounds players within the terrors of the Alien universe. Designed by Alien fans for Alien fans, Servios brings the expertise to crafting this technically advanced and frightfully immersive Alien virtual reality game. And that's due to launch holiday 2024. So that's quite exciting. I think getting these sorts of games that kind of transcend VR and always gaming as well, a bit like Ghostbusters. I think it's games like this, people, even quite casual people, will be like, oh, I like Alien. I'll give this a go. And I think there's a new Alien film coming out. Well, there's one coming out this year. I think it's probably the summer, is it? I'm guessing it's coming out, the new Alien film.
A few months from now.
Yeah, so if this is holiday,
well.
I guess that means, what's that, sort of November time, isn't it? That's generally holiday. But that sounds even something like I want to play, like single player action horror. You know, it's not like some online like Ghostbusters type thing. It's not like cartoony. It doesn't sound like it's too like action horror. It's like, okay, I can be on board with that. Action horror is.
Or it's a little bit better when you've got a shotgun, isn't it? Like it's if you haven't got anything in your hand, you get a bit scared. And as soon as they give you a shotgun, you feel great. So that's how I see horror.
I'm hoping as well, because it's not like Madison where it's a game for horror fans. I'm hoping that it's going to be like, let's put like a casual wimp mode in it that Laurie can enjoy.
For the fans of the film as well.
Yeah, people that just want to just kind of live in that sort of fantasy world, but don't really don't want to play like a brutally difficult game. I know Alien Isolation was very hard, so that doesn't set a good precedent. But yeah, I hope these games, they should be accessible to everyone. Really.
As long as they don't do a whole scene of face huggers, I will be fine.
Oh yeah, face huggers in VR. That's going to be
That's my
fun.
worry, is the face huggers, because Alien, I can do with that. That's fine. Something pouncing at your face that has that many legs, similar to a spider, I will not be fine.
Will it have a mech power walker type thing that you get in Aliens? That would work, wouldn't it? Just. I hope the devs play a bit of big shots and then be like, "Hey, this works. We could do this." Yeah, I mean that's got to be.
Looking forward to that, definitely.
Yeah, I mean if it's not shit, that's probably going to be one of the biggest games. The biggest games coming up now, because that will transcend VR. I think that's a lot of people, non-VR players, will be like, "Oh, Alien game." They'll want to play that. That is a big fan base, you know.
It's also with Quest on. It's going to be on Quest as well, but with that, we've noticed that it's not coming to Quest 2. It's
I was going to mention that.
So, like, this is not the first game. This is the second game now that I know of that's not been available on.
What was the first game?
Townsman VR, which is on PSVR2. They brought that over to Quest, but they only did Quest 3 and not Quest 2. So I'm excited to also see how it plays on the Quest.
I mean, that's for me is welcome, because Quest 2 is obviously quite dated now, and to get something running on the Quest 2, it needs to be quite stripped back. So if they are now leaving that platform behind and just developing for Quest 3, that is kind of good news for PlayStation VR2 players, because it means when we get all the Quest ports, they're going to be ports of games that are on much more of a sort of similar level to what we'd expect. And then if PlayStation can throw foveated rendering at it as well, and then make it even sort of crisper than what Quest 3 gets, but just still looks nice, but then just with crisper graphics and stuff, then happy days.
It's probably going to help the developers and the development time as well, not to have to kind of do that many versions of one game and then update it and things like that. Because we kept seeing games release on the Quest 2 and then they'll get the update for the Quest 3 version a few months later, as opposed to it coming out on release.
Yeah.
So hopefully with that, I mean, don't want it to be a common trend just yet, because obviously with them just lowering the price of the Quest 2 and things like that, it's might not.
No, but we're talking holidays, so we're talking 6 months from now.
Yeah, exactly.
That's fine. The Quest 3 would have been out for well over a year by that point, wasn't it?
Yes. Yeah, October the 10th, I believe it came out.
Well, impressive. So over a year at that point. So, yeah, I feel like that's a reasonable amount of time to support Quest 2. And then Quest 2 would still be getting loads of games, because there'll still be loads of games that are just made by smaller teams that will run fine on that, like more indie games.
But yeah, looking forward to it, and hopefully as well, Servios brings some of their other games over, like Sprint Vector, which is the one that I forgot the name of. I hope they bring that over, and even Walking Dead, just so I can get the platinum again. So.
Wow. Okay, cool. Okay, the last bit of news, it's kind of not really news, but something I wanted to highlight is there is, as always, there's a PlayStation Store sale on right now. But for the first time, really, there's some really significant, decent VR2 game discounts in that sale. So one I wanted to spotlight was Star Wars Tales from the Galaxy's Edge. And this was £35 normally. It's down to £11.89 in the UK, which is a 66% discount. So that's 2/3 off on that one. So that's obviously, I know you've just jumped on that, haven't you, at that price?
Yep, immediately.
Yeah, I mean, £11, that is a bargain.
You can't say no, can you? I played the demo, so I knew what I was getting into. So
yeah, and that's one that I think I have wanted to play since day one, because it was there on the launch lineup, but I've just never got round to it. And I thought, well, I'm glad I never did pick it up, because we always had stuff to play, but I've always wanted to get that one. So I'm cool. Yeah, I'll definitely be picking that up. Sale goes on, I think, till the 5th of May. So if you're hearing this show when it comes out, you've got a few days still to pick it up. Got a bit of time. But yeah, Star Wars, Tales of the Galaxy's Edge, and then there's some other ones as well. Have you spotted anything else?
Some of the Resident Evils are on sale, I believe. I know Resident Evil 4 is. I think Resident Evil 8 may have went off. I think that was on sale, but I know Resident Evil 4 is either £15 or £20, which for me is an absolute steal. Like, you can't go wrong with that price. The other ones are just some smaller titles on there. I believe the Synth Riders packs are on sale again.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so there's quite a few bits on there. So, yeah, definitely worth checking out.
Nice.
But I think our big two hits would be, obviously, Star Wars and Resident Evil.
Yeah, actually, Resident Evil 4 is down to £15. Village is £14.
I'd say pick up both of them. If you haven't got them already, buy them.
I want to shout out for Synth Riders, down to £12. Absolutely need that game if you haven't got that.
Yeah, that's a must-have rhythm game.
Yeah. Anyway, check it out. There's loads on there, so people should give that a look and pick up some games whilst they are on for a good price. Cool.
Also, just you said it last up, but there was another bit of news. Rager, which is a game that's on App Lab at the moment on Quest, will be coming to PSVR2 as well. Rager is a rhythm game where you play as a cybernetic samurai type of thing. You have swords and enemies come towards you, and you have to block, dodge, and slice the enemies into the rhythm. So it's a bit more different to your normal rhythm games. I've tried the demo on App Lab. It is a lot of fun.
Cool.
I tried it on the normal difficulty, then kind of moved up to the higher one, and it's insane. So, yeah, I'm happy that's coming out on PSVR2 as well. So there was a post going around, and they've confirmed it. So it's on Twitter. Everybody's kind of blowing their lid at seeing this coming, because it's a different take on the rhythm genre. So
very
I forgot
cool.
all about that, but it literally came back to my mind. So apologies for jumping right in that.
There was one other thing as well that we shared this morning, and then I think it was a hastily deleted tweet. Should we mention that?
Oh, yes. Go on then, because I'm still seeing people mention it. And
I mean, it wasn't our fault. We didn't break the news, did we?
No,
Someone let the cat out of the bag. But apparently, Arcade Paradise is due to come to PSVR2 this summer.
Yes.
And obviously, Arcade Paradise is the game where you start a laundrette and you try and transition and turn it into an arcade, which is sort of kind of, imagine pitching that to someone. But it's supposed to, it's a flat game. It's just been converted to VR. You maybe mention it in a second when you talk about WASD. Yep. But yeah, so I know that's been getting a lot of people excited on Quest. I know Alex is absolutely loving it on Quest at the moment. Alex, friend of the show.
Do you say that now?
No, he's on his sabbatical. He's fine. He's more than a friend. He's a family man. But anyway, he's loving it, and so apparently it's coming to PSVR2. There's not been an official announcement or anything, but that's what was tweeted by someone this morning.
I spotted it last night.
I won't mention who it was that tweeted it, just so I don't get into more trouble.
Because Yeah, got a lot of respect for the people that tweeted him at hey ho, you know. So, because I pinged it over to you, and then literally you clicked on it and you went, "Oh, it's been deleted." I was like, "What?" I know you knew, and then you went back and you said it's been deleted, or Ben went, "It's been deleted." So it was deleted within like the hour of it going out, I think. So, yeah.
But that's.
I hope it's coming. I hope.
Well, I hope so, because it's games like that. I'm like, oh man, I really wish I had a Quest. I'd really like to give that one a go. That looks really fun, and I don't mind waiting for stuff. If I know it's coming, I'm happy to wait. But if stuff doesn't ever come to PlayStation VR, it's like, oh, you don't want to get a Quest now because I want to check that out. I'm still waiting on Assassin's Creed Nexus for that very reason.
I was talking about that this weekend, and I still want that to come over. Like, they just need to do it. They need to.
Yeah, well, they need to. You know, no one platform is too big, but the Sony audience just fucking love Assassin's Creed games. So
exactly,
we need it. We need it. Cool.
Ubisoft.
Well, I think that is it for the news now.
Yes.
Tell us, Reece, what you've been playing this week.
So I played some Umurangi Generations. Am I pronouncing that right? Probably not.
Umurangi, I thought it was.
Umurangi. There we go. I've been calling it Umurangi. So there we go.
Potato.
Yeah, exactly. So Umurangi Generations is a photography style game, but also very artsy in a sense as well. As soon as you start off, I kind of a bit confused about the controller mechanics at first, just because I couldn't find the menus, and I was standing there down the side with my hands up and I couldn't see the menu. It's just a black screen, so I thought the game was broke. Couldn't hear any audio, anything like that. So first 5 minutes, I was like, what's going on? For some reason, by default, the audio was turned off. So there was no music, nothing at all. So I had to turn all that up. The actual menu selection is on your wrist, so you have to move your hand up and have your hand. But it's because the screen goes black and then brings the menu up. And if you've had your arms down, then you won't see it. So the menu's on your wrist. So that threw me off a little bit. Bit of a weird design, to make it all go to black. And
again, we keep saying this. Why isn't there a universal VR menu system that access it, interact with it? It's just, come on, guys, just work out a common format that we can all just.
A bit silly. I was just like, okay, that's weird. So once I got that working, I was looking around, and then I didn't really know what I was doing with the camera because everything looked blurry. So I was like, okay, maybe you're not really meant to know what you're taking a picture of. No, the game's focus, you have to literally adjust the focus of the camera and really go into detail with it.
Cool. So like you would, like it's in VR kind of. Yeah,
you don't grab the front or anything. Sadly, it's just a press of a button. It would have been better to have it so pressing, but you can get different lenses for your cameras and things like that. So, and also the best part of it, you have a spray can. You can literally go around just spraying stuff and doing some art. I just started writing on the floor and just seeing how long it would last there with me putting more spray on the floor until it started vanishing.
Just trying to break the game, classic. See what I can do.
Why do I always do this? Yes, basically. It didn't. It didn't vanish. It stayed there. Even when walking away from it and come back to it, it's still on the floor. So that was pretty cool. But the art style is very reminiscent to Jet Set Radio, I feel like. It's got that kind of
nice
bubbly look to it, but also they've kind of taken away some of the coloration of it to make it, because obviously it's based in this apocalyptic situation, so they've kind of brought the tone down of the colour, but still the actual, it reminds you of that time of Jet Set Radio, the way the characters looked in a sense. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it looks really good. I've done the first level and a little bit of the second level, but you have to go around, so you have a challenge board and it asks you to take photos of different things. So like, say, take photos of 7 birds. So I thought you had to take just individually 7 birds or 7 photos. No, you literally have to line up 7 birds in one shot and capture the photo. So I had to walk across beams to get this photo. So that was, getting these little challenge shots and then taking pictures of boom boxes and things like that. It's different challenge shots for each level, and you get a certain fund, like you get paid for the level once you've done your delivery, and then that's it, you move on to the next level. But I'm actually looking forward to going back into it, really, because I played it and then the next day I had to go to WASD, so I was like, okay, but what I've played so far I've liked.
Is it fun?
It's not over the top fun, but I think it's quite nice looking for these challenges. It's also a little bit chilled in a sense because you're not getting rushed off your feet. You don't feel like you're on a timer. I don't know if there is a timer. I didn't feel like I was on a timer because I think I was like in the first level for maybe 7 minutes. I think you can complete the levels in a timer to get a better score, but I just literally was just walking around, and then you can click on your friends and make them dance, so you can take photos of them while they're dancing to get different shots of them as well. It's just loads of little different things. It just felt quite nice and relaxing to play. So,
well, that's your first impressions. Come back with what we've got passes for a review and these parts.
I'm going to play more this week because I think balancing between that and the horror, scariest game coming out, I think I'm going to need something
a bit more, lighter, easy.
Scream once and go back to that's really how it's going to work.
Well, and you've also been playing a bit more big shots.
I did. I jumped in with Miles Dyer on.
Now he is a friend of the show.
He is a friend of the show. Yes, good old Miles. So we jumped on his stream because I saw him playing it and I hadn't tried the multiplayer. So he said, "Yeah, sure, jump on." So I wanted to confirm that you cannot see each other inside their mech. So that was the first disappointment. After that, there wasn't really many disappointments. To be fair, we had a lot of fun. It was a blast. Like literally, this game was. I feel like it was made from the ground up to be co-op. Co-op wasn't added. That was the idea they had first. Was it has to be co-op. The more enemies come in, so you literally got more enemies to attack. The bosses are made a little bit easier because obviously you've got 2 people shooting at them. But just the overall feel of having someone there shooting at the enemies and you having to revive each other, it was a lot of fun. So
is the audio good on it?
Yeah, really good.
Is it in game or do you have to start a party? Or?
We did it in game because he was on his stream, so we didn't want to fumble around with everything. He's already had all his setup done, but I could hear him fine through his microphone on the headset. It was a little bit, maybe a little bit tinny in a sense, but nothing too dire. Nothing too dire. So there was nothing too bad there. And, you can mute if you look on the side of your mech. When you're inside of it, you can actually mute the person, turn on the voice chat, because everything's inside of your mech for you to touch in the terms of settings in a way. So we was having an absolute blast. We was trying to sort out our mech, so one of us had different abilities to the other person, so we could kind of counteract the attacks and be able to help each other more. So, yeah.
It's just got me thinking, it'd be really cool if you had that, because that sounds really cool. You could just hit a button to do the voice chat. Why don't a VR game co-op with walkie-talkies and you have to press the button to sort of talk like a walkie-talkie?
There is a lot of them
is
on
there?
Quest. So usually
bloody Quest there is,
usually shooting games on Quest, you have a tactical vest on, so you have to grab your vest here where your radio would be and talk. To communicate with the people that are on your team. Otherwise, they will only hear you when you're in the vicinity of them. Which I love that idea. So
that's so cool.
Really gives you that kind of you're communicating with your team or radio situation, military based. But no, I think Big Shots has, like I said, I was happy with it, but not as happy as I thought it was going to be with it. Playing it in co-op has now made me as happy as I thought it was going to be from the get-go. Like I feel like that's how I knew it was going to be. I love it. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I feel like you need to do a re-review it almost now. And you've played it.
Yeah,
it has as nature intended.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I mean, a lot of the stuff I said as well before, it still feel the exact same way being inside that mech. I did notice on my old stream, I'm going to steal this a little bit because somebody kept questioning, does it feel claustrophobic in there in any way? Because they were concerned because when you watch it, it does look quite small inside this mech. But when you're inside of it, inside the headset, it does not feel claustrophobic. If anything, you feel like you're in this huge cockpit. But for some reason, the videos make it look like it's this very small cockpit you're in. But no, you shouldn't get any claustrophobia playing it.
Cool. They should put a demo out for that one.
I think they should. Even if it's just like a timed demo or something, just to get the experience of the first area. But no, a lot of fun.
Cool. Well, I'm glad to hear that one. Well, what have I been playing? I caught up with the Synth Riders 80s mixtape, and oh man, I love Synth Riders anyway. Often spoken about it over the last year, but I think this is the best Synth Riders has ever been.
That's exactly what I said.
We built this city, and I think I played the first track on. Was that Call on Me, isn't it?
So it goes like Hearth and Starship.
Yeah. So I played that on normal, and then I was like, right, I'm going to go up to hard because it's a bit too easy on normal for me now. So I got up to hard, and that it's just such a better game, I think, on hard than it is on normal because you have to really. It's a bit, it's more fun when it's more challenging. I mean, it's just you're going through the motions a bit on normal. I feel like, whereas I like the kind of it's a bit more sort of frenetic, a bit more frantic on hard mode. So yeah, playing We Built This City on hard mode with the cafe. The stage is really cool. The new stage they've added, it looks really cool. I kind of, when I'm playing it, I just focus fully on the things flying towards you. So every time you look at the cafe, the surroundings around you, you're like you're going to mess up if you don't concentrate on what it is. So yeah, but what I saw of it, I was impressed by the surroundings. It's just it clearly is a really cool setting. But yeah, I don't know why the music just works really well for me on this one.
I think it's like I said as well, on some of their original songs, well, not original songs, some of the songs they put on previous packs, they use like an 80s synth-inspired musicians like the Midnight and LeBrock, and they do synth-inspired 80s music. So they work really well. So as soon as they announced an 80s pack, it just made sense with the type of game it is. And like you said, I think I agree with you, it's the best Synth Riders been. It's the best pack that's come out, in my opinion. And yeah, I love it.
Yeah, I think Synth Riders itself is on sale. This pack only costs a few quid. I strongly recommend picking them both up if you haven't played them already. And also, it's exciting. This pack is side A, so it implies there's going to be a side B coming in the coming months as well. So we're going to get another pack of 80s music coming shortly, which is good to hear. So as well as Synth Riders, I also played a little bit of Walkabout mini golf. I didn't play the new Venice track, of course. I wanted to, but I don't think we got access to it quite early enough when I was playing earlier in the week. But I did play the Neon Wolf stage. Which, have you played that one, Reece?
Yes, I have. Sorry, I was checking something. Yes, I have played Neon Wolf. I played it with Alex for the first time. It was trippy.
That's just if people haven't seen that one, it's so different from the rest of anything. It does the crazy tricks with your ball where it just shatters your ball into like lots of different pieces, and then they reform somewhere random, and there's lots of teleportations and stuff.
Like balls.
I wasn't expecting any of that, and you have to sort of play on the ceiling as well, like the flags on the ceiling, so you're kind of mirroring what you're doing.
I didn't like that. It made me feel very kind of just... It's the same as the other one, the Upside Town, where you got to hit off the wall and things like that. It just... I don't know, it breaks it for me to the point where I'm like, I feel like I can't get the hitters properly. So, yeah.
And because most Walkabout I've played with as a group of us going around and stuff, and it's a good fun, we have a laugh and stuff. It is a fun game actually. You're still playing on your own as well, because you get through the courses so much quicker than when you're in a group, and obviously you have to wait everyone to take their turn. If you're just on your own, you can go around so quickly. And of course, it's just like my best ever game just on my own. It's like, why can't I play this well when I'm in a group of people? But there you go.
I still do bad on my own, so it's just
no. Well. I'm not... So yeah, Walkabout mini golf, ever reliable, great game.
Exactly.
Other game I've been playing this week went back to is Arizona Sunshine 2, which I've been wanting to go back to for ages. There's been too many games coming out to play. But yeah, I went back to playing that, and just I really love it. It's such a good game.
It's fun, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, as shooters go, I don't generally like shooters games, but this is such a I don't know, it doesn't really feel like a shooter in the same way, because I'm playing it on easy because I just like the whole the fun mode of it. And they've also put out some updates. I don't know if this was there at the start. Maybe it was, and I just didn't notice it. But I noticed now there's a setting you can change the reload to just simple. So you've got like standard reload where you have to press a button to pop out the magazine, grab another clip from your belt, slide it in, pull the thing back on the gun, and you're ready to go again. And that's cool. I love doing that. But when I'm ever in the middle of a fire, like in a sort of tense moment, I'm being beared down by loads of zombies and you're trying to reload, I just find it such a kind of fumble and hard to do, and it never seems to work, and it just annoys me at the kind of if it was real life, I'd be able to do it. It's fine, but it's not quite working as well as I want it to, because I'm trying to rush it because obviously I'm under pressure. But they've got a new mode now where you can just pop out the magazine, and then if you just move the gun to your belt, it automatically just absorbs a clip and is ready to use again, which kind of a little bit feels like it's cheating, because when you do have these zombies bearing down on you, and you can just like shoot very quickly a whole magazine off and then reload near enough instantly and just keep on shooting. So, but I mean that's fine, because that's how I want to play it. I don't want to have to die and repeat sections and stuff. I don't mind playing it on very easy, because for me it's more just I like playing it for the guy and his dog, and this whole kind of over the top silliness of every situation you go in and stuff. And
have you tried the corgi yet? You put the corgi on, see what the corgi
No,
looks like.
I'm too attached to Buddy as he is. I don't want to change him to a different dog.
I need to find out if anyone's got I'm going to have to just load it up.
Actually, he's a really cool Alsatian. I don't want to change that to a little corgi.
I just think it'd be hilarious.
Yeah.
But no, the way you said about the reload, that's how after the fall is done. When you first load in, it's default. You drop the mag and you put the gun to your belt and it reloads it. But the way they've done it on that is if you use the standard way to reload, where you drop the clip and do it all manually, you get I think it's a certain percentage damage bonus on the enemies for having to do that kind of manual reloading, which I think is a good way of doing it. But where
it makes sense.
Where you said mindless shooting, I think you'd like after the fall. I know you don't usually go for multiplayer games, but obviously playing with like us lot as a group, I think you'd enjoy that because it's basically, Arizona Sunshine, but just in co-op.
Yeah, no, I probably would like it. I seem to like any multiplayer games in VR. It's a different type of experience. Yeah,
as long as you don't get thrown in a lobby like Ghostbusters from the get-go.
Yeah, well, with people I actually know. Yeah, I don't want to play it with randoms. With close friends.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I don't know if Arizona as well. Since I played it at launch, if it's now had some. It seems to look better. It seems to run better. It seems. I don't know if they've patched it and just given it a bit more polish as well.
I stopped playing it because I ran into an issue when I was playing through co-op to the point where I couldn't progress anymore. It was getting to the point where things were disappearing and we just had to stop. So I haven't went back to it since because we were going through it on the hardest difficulty and I didn't want to have to keep redoing the same areas again when they're already as difficult as they were. So we just kind of nipped it in the bud. But I do need to go back to it.
Well, that is the game that I'm sort of plugging away on now. When I do sit down, I'll play a few of the things we've got to try out, and then that's the game I'm returning to get through in the same way I was with Red Matter. Recently, I've moved on to finish that. I'm trying to sort of close off some of the games that I'm halfway through now because I've had to just leave halfway because we got more things to play and stuff, more things that we need to talk about. But so I'm just trying to close off some of these half-finished games so I can get closure on them. I hate abandoning games halfway through. I really want to start Resident Evil 4 though, so that's I'm looking forward to starting that one. But before I do, I just need to finish up because I think that's going to take me ages to play.
I ended up stopped playing it. I was streaming it, and then I took a break to, just like you, to play other games that we've been busy with, and I've not had a chance to go back to it, and I really need to because it's a lot of fun.
Cool. Well, I'm sure people are going to get bored listening to me drone on about Arizona Sunshine 2 in the coming weeks, but it's a good one, so you should check it out. All right, let's move on to hearing what you have to say about WASD or WSAD. Before we do, though, just like to remind everyone, if they'd like to support us, they can give the podcast a sub on whatever service they're using. And if watching on YouTube, as many of you do, so thank you, please hit like and subscribe and all that jazz, and leave us a comment as well. We like that. You can follow us on Twitter at CrossButtonVR and also at the Crossplayers. And yes, for anyone out there who is interested in getting some lenses for their headset, if they do not have perfect eyesight already, go to vr-rock.com and you can get prescription lenses there. You can use the code CBVR to get 10% off and free worldwide shipping. That's vr-rock.com. Cool, Reece. So, not only did you go to WSAD or WASD the last few days, but we also met up, didn't we, yesterday?
Yes, it was
last
lovely.
night. Me, you, and Ben, we met up for a drink. It was very, very pleasant, very civilised, and we're joined by Andrew as well, off of Debug magazine. Came and hung out with us.
He was there for a little bit as well. Yeah.
Yeah,
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, so it's good to see you. And you've been spent the last 3 days. Otherwise, you were there for the whole duration of the show. So, for everyone that couldn't make it, which is probably going to be most people listening to this podcast, let's hear about it. Come on, what was it like?
So, obviously, from the first, to start with Thursday, obviously, walking through the door, I know there was 2 VR games announced, and obviously going there as somebody that's very passionate about VR, you want to see some VR being there. They only announced 2, but just like EGX, when they only announced a couple, there was also more there. That was not the case here. There was literally only 2, and that was Skera VR and also Arcade Paradise.
Mm-hmm.
Skera was literally one literal computer, and you had to sit on a chair to play it. And then obviously Arcade Paradise had a big booth with 2 quests. So they were the 2 VR things. So instantly I knew I will play them straight away. So I went to do them, and then I kind of started chipping away at a lot of the indie titles that were there. That obviously that WASD is very, well known for is putting out these big indie titles and, giving them a platform to showcase their games.
Mm-hmm.
So I tried, obviously I know we're a VR podcast, but you're going to hear a lot of non-VR games here that I tried and that I absolutely loved, but maybe some of them that I would like to see a VR mode come to, just to kind of give that a little bit more oomph. So I'll start with those ones first. The first one that I really want to see in VR is Lunar Abyss, which is a first-person shooter. It's made by Bonsai Collective, I think they're called. Some of the people that worked on Cube, which is a puzzle game. Funnily enough, one of the first games I ever bought on Steam. A lot of fun, very similar to Portal they were, but this time they went for a more dark, gothic, shooter-style game with a very rich narrative. Unfortunately, with the demo, you couldn't really experience the rich narrative, which I went up to the art director going, what's this story about? I need to know more. So that intrigued me, but I did actually ask them if they considered VR in any sense, and he told me they did some internal testing, but it made them feel sick. So I'm hoping they will look back at that internal testing and do something like it again, because I said the world that they've made would be great in VR. So that was one of the ones. The other game I played, which is a mental health game, it covers a true story of someone's true story. I'm not going to go into whose it is, but so I played that, and it really goes into the darkness of depression, anxiety, and things like that. But it was a standout title there because it hit me very hard. I've not played a game that hit me this hard in a while. Probably nothing since Before Your Eyes, or was it Before Their Eyes? Yes. Again, this wasn't a VR title, but it. And
playing that in a sort of conference setting where you're surrounded by people on the sort of show floor and stuff, to be that absorbed in something, to have that impact on you.
I welled up.
Wow. How long were you playing it for?
So I did so it was on the teenager section, and you read the notes, and so I think it was about 20 minutes, maybe 25 minutes I was in the demo for, and I was reading this note, and I just went, oh God, like literally, I just welled up.
Wow. For a game to do that in 20 minutes is that's pretty
powerful.
Impressive.
Very, very powerful. So much so to the point where I had to just speak to the developers, just go, I don't know how you've done it, but it just transported me back to, everyone has bad times in life, but, a similar time. So it kind of hit me there as well, and it was just very powerful. But I also think that game would work very well in VR, because the way objects work in it, you have to pick them up and rotate them around, whereas obviously in VR you have your hand, so you can just pick up the item and rotate around with your hand and look at everything. It was also nice to see all the objects that they had in there that wasn't, they can't copyright items, so they've got like Jokomon instead of Pokemon, and a knockoff Game Boy, things like that. It was a lot of fun.
And as Before Your Eyes showed, playing these sorts of things in VR where it's got your full focus and attention, and you can't, there's no distractions at all. You're not just kind of watching something, you are in something. So for those emotional packed stories, it's going to be even more of a punch to the gut.
I didn't ask them whether they're making it in VR, just simply because I was just so moved by the game they made. I was just like,
bawling your eyes up.
Yeah, I mean, so I was so moved by it. So I'd like to see if they could try and do something like that, or maybe the flat to VR people or Injector mod or something like that. Just try it in VR.
So say the name of the game again, just for everyone.
That's The Quiet Things. Very, very good. It's not out yet, but hopefully when it comes out, people check it out.
So just to sort of paint the scene a little bit for people that don't know these sorts of conferences and stuff. So you're going to go in there. It's a huge kind of open space, huge hall,
computers everywhere, loads of people walking everywhere, and it's the first 30 minutes of any event like this. I find it very overwhelming. Just to kind of go, what do I go to first? So usually I kind of stand behind people and take a little look at the games that I've not heard of, just to kind of see what it looks like. Because obviously there's going to be some stuff there that I wouldn't play, whereas again with VR I'd pretty much play anything. The Quiet Things gripped me just simply because the way the titling looked, and then I saw the movement. It reminded me of some Gone Home. Lunar Abyss is a shooter. I'm not going to say no to a shooter. The other one I tried out was Crow Country, which is a PS1 inspired survival horror, very similar to Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 1, Dino Crisis, things like that. Really had a lot of fun with that. So it's literally, well, to be fair, the first thing I did was I gunned straight for the bar just to buy Ben his Cult of the Lamb cup.
Nice.
So
Nice.
That was the first thing I did.
Cool. So so you've got the games that you can play. You've got a bar. And did they have like stages with talks and developer chats and stuff and panels, discussions and stuff like that?
It's a bit differently done here with the discussions. They were obviously timed and things like that. But you had to, as soon as you walked in, you had to like turn to the right and then turn to the left and then to the right again, and then it just felt like it wasn't out in the open. I would have liked them to have this stage out in the open, maybe in the back at the main area, so everybody that's walking past would have just seen it. Because I think maybe some people might not have known where that was, probably for the first few days. So I think having it out in the open may have been a better idea, just for everybody to just kind of see when these discussions are happening. They might have heard something or seen
just
something
get drawn
on the
in.
screen. Yeah, exactly. I think that would have been the best idea. But so there was discussions. I know Andrew from Debug had one on there. He was up for one. There was something with Neon Hive. There's a few people that are on there as well.
And you bumped into a few people that we know?
So I bumped into Miles Dyer. I bumped into a lot of the VR creators. I do have a list, so I'm going to have to go through that list.
Go on, give everyone a shout out.
You want me to go through the list?
Yeah, go for the list, of course.
Go through the list now.
Well, it depends. We'll see how long we need to wrap up soon. But
it's a long list. It's a really long list, isn't it? Let me find this.
Come on, get name checks for everyone you saw.
Right, okay. I met Power on VR for the first time. Absolutely lovely dude. Got to speak to him for a lot of the time. I also met Clickster, who's another VR creator. And then we met Scorpio, who I've known on Twitter for some time. Again, another great VR creator. I mean, these are all great people. I've watched their content before. I hadn't heard of some of them, but then when I've met them, I've checked out their stuff now. So it was kind of getting introduced to more of the VR space, because I only started doing VR content back in maybe September last year. So I'm still not used to everyone that's in the VR space yet. So yeah, I met Game on Scorpio, Dr. Oculus, who some of you may know him because he's, if you know VR Realm, who's in the Discord, Dr. Oculus and VR Realm have a podcast together as well. I met Daze Netic and Snowtoad VR, and also inside the room that we were all talking in the creator area, I also spoke to Callum Hurley again, and what was the other one? There was another one. These are both from Cytic. So I don't know if you've heard of Cytic Games. They've made Wildlands. Let me quickly get you. It was John Hibbins is the other one. I was about to say Jim, so I'm glad I didn't. Ooh. So yeah, that would have been bad, wouldn't it? Yeah, so John, I got to speak to Callum and John. Obviously, you may know Callum from the VR Spotlight from EGX. Lovely bloke, absolutely lovely bloke to talk to. Both of them, literally, they both came over and just started speaking to me. Callum knew me already. John had never met me, introduced himself. Got to speak to him, a bit about the industry and things like that. And yeah, it was just lovely chats. Gamertag VR turned up as well. Didn't get to speak to him. He was already engaged in a conversation from the minute he walked through the door. So yeah, didn't get to speak to him.
Popular man.
Yeah, literally. He sat down, and before he could take one sip of his drink, he was having to talk, bless him. But no, I would love to say hello to him at least. But no, I didn't want to interrupt, seeing that he was already talking to everyone.
Yeah, I mean, for me, this sounds like as more than the aims to play. It just as a kind of just a space that they create to listen to the talks, not just network, but just kind of meet people that you know, follow, and just for the different creators and community members and stuff to just connect and just chat and just meet up and have a laugh and stuff.
I did try a lot of the games, but obviously it would take too long to mention all the ones that I tried here. And obviously, again, with it being a VR podcast, I don't want to overburden people with games that are not VR.
Yeah, no. Just thank you for just sharing your thoughts. I think it's just nice for people to hear what your shows are like, because I think people can't get down to London. I think it's a very different sort of event to EGX, isn't it? Which is also in London. So
because obviously with Skera VR, I didn't touch on that, nor Arcade Paradise really, the game.
Oh yeah, go on.
So Skera is a puzzle action type of game. Literally, when I say it's action, even the sword itself is a puzzle mechanic in its way. Like, you have to absorb certain energies to attack certain enemies to take off their armor, and then you have to do lots of certain puzzles with balls and things like that. It looks phenomenal. It's only on PC VR at the moment. They're looking to optimize it for Quest. I did ask about PSVR2, and they don't know right now, just simply because they're still trying to get it to the best it can be first on one platform before moving it to the next. But it's a very unique game. It looks very nice. So I think if it did come to the PSVR2, people would be blown away by the graphics.
Cool.
And yeah, like the combat as well, I think feeling that with the haptics would have been really nice as well, because obviously they were using it on a Quest 2. So it just, feeling the haptics of that would have been great. But no, Skera is one to keep an eye on for sure.
And then Arcade Paradise.
Arcade Paradise
is supposed to be coming to. They had a big booth, didn't they? That was quite a big
they
setting.
Did. They had washing machines round. They
went to town on that one.
Yeah, it was really nice. Lovely team, occupying the booth. I played a little bit of it, even though I had already played a little bit of it at home, just to kind of play it on the show floor. And no, I had a lot of fun. I did some of the laundry, and then went to clean the toilet and did some shooting on the arcade, and that was it. Arcade Paradise in VR is such a good game. Like, that is one that people need to jump on for sure. And Wired are literally constantly bringing more VR games. Like, they've announced another one, Dig VR. So they're really interested in putting out VR games as well. So
cool. All right. Well, thank you for that hands-on show report.
Very brief show report. Yep.
Yeah. No. Well, it's very brief amount of VR content. So.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. What's next on your conference show?
What next? Oh,
what's next?
I don't know. I know
EGX/Comic-Con.
Yeah, EGX/Comic-Con. You're going to that, definitely. Forcing you along this time. Yeah.
We'll see.
I don't know. I think Insomnia might have its next one because they had the one back in the end of March. So apparently they usually have 2 a year, which one usually falls in September. You've also got Format this year. Obviously EGX. Is there any more after that? I know there's one in Scotland that's just been announced. One in Glasgow. So maybe Alex can go to that and give us some feedback. He's got a bit of free time. He needs to have a little break from studying. He needs to just go and get some fresh air, bless him. Bloody
break from studying. He's always on bloody TikTok these days. Still posting.
If you want to see Alex's dances, go here.
Yeah. If you're missing Alex's content, find him on TikTok.
Bless him.
Cool.
It was a good event, though. They put on a really good event. So if the WASD team do see this, keep doing what you're doing. It was such an inclusive event for all people there, just communicating with each other, and the developers were so lovely to talk to everyone. So yeah, definitely keep doing what you're doing.
Nice. Oh well, that's a lovely note to end on. Thank you, Reece, and thank you for listening. If you've enjoyed this episode, we'd love it if you could please tell your family and your friends all about us. If you want to get more involved, please do not hesitate to drop into our Discord and say hello. Now, I've been your host, Laurie. This guy has been Reece, and we will see you again next time. Until then, it's goodbye.